Yeah. So in HR, a lot of times you're going to be required to have a general understanding and some legal knowledge. Now, how do you get there? I mean, you're not a lawyer, right? And that's the key. You're not a lawyer. So when you think about what things do you need to know as practical legal knowledge in your role, honestly, the first place to start, in my opinion, is your employee handbook. And you may already be working with a legal attorney on this. That's the perfect place to ask questions around, hey, as an HR person, what are some legal knowledge points I should know? I almost guarantee you most of the time it's around, hey, what are the right things around recruiting and hiring? What do you need to know there? What are practices as far as job descriptions when you put them out there? Uh, uh, how do you make sure that, if you have an office, everything's ADA compliant, right? Are you keeping up with all the local laws? There's some general things that you can learn, but my personal advice is you talk to your company's legal counsel, and if you start with the handbook, the person who actually developed it for you, then that's actually a great place to start because that will give you a foundation and a good place to go back to. Because anytime you are doing conflict resolution or say there's a termination or any issues, at the end of the day, they're going to want to subpoena your employee handbook anyway, which is why they ask you to get it legally reviewed. And that's a great place for you to start to build your knowledge base on what is relevant in your current role. So if you're walking into a job, right, and you're an HR professional, that might be a great place to start. Also, like take note of, are there things in your past that you notice, like in California, you can't write on a resume when you're in an interview, right? That might be something that you picked up along the way. And if you see somebody doing that in your interview process, that might be something that you want to notate and say, hey, like this was my experience. Here's some things that we could potentially look out for. But as far as like building your knowledge base in the new role of what legal requirements are going to be the most relevant, I think you ask your team if it's okay if you reach out to legal counsel and review the handbook and get a walkthrough of why they built it the way they did. And I think you'll find that it's a really useful way to expedite your learning process and the legal requirements for your current role.